Smiling students content with being online, happy to work by themselves, engaged. No matter if we physically or virtually see our students read their words or see their learning output, is there an assumption that students look something like this? Without seeing them in the classroom, unless students reach out or observe something different, do we assume that students are on track, on task, learning effectively, etc., just like this student representative on the screen? What are the signs that some students might be represented by this image? Perhaps isolated, perhaps they're feeling alone, disconnected from their learning, disconnected from their faculty member, other students. Perhaps there's no rapport or relationships between the students and also the faculty instructor and the students. Would learning be optimal under these conditions? How do we ensure students know we are here for them? How do students see us? How do they hear us? How do they interact and engage with us, with our content, with our students? How do they know that we're all in this together? This PowerPoint and video will be an introduction to presence. So, what is presence? In the welcome video, I used some key phrases. I said presence was being there, teaching effectiveness, and challenging our students. Let's take a look at what I meant by these in relation to the work of Garrison and authors. Garrison and other authors put out this diagram representing the educational experience, and they break it down into social, cognitive, and teaching presence. To be there, I was referring to social presence here, building rapport and managing expectations towards having professional and academic relationships amongst the instructor and students even students themselves. In terms of effectiveness and teaching effectiveness, I was talking about teaching presence for this one. We need to plan the teaching within the blended and online environment to be purposeful, effective, and to maximize the time within the course. We need to design learning experiences and situations that students learn within to maximize students' time both away from the instructor in an asynchronous fashion as well as time with the instructor in a synchronous fashion. We'll talk more about asynchronous and synchronous very shortly. And by challenging, I was talking about cognitive presence for this last one. That faculty need to challenge students with the types of learning activities and the types of critical thinking or higher order thinking that we're setting them. And students need to challenge themselves in terms of how they go about it as well. So it is both that we need to create and build and maintain presence for themselves. Students need to do it themselves, and we can do it for them as well. Let's have a look at designing presence. We need to think about when we're purposefully designing courses and environments. We need to think about some different aspects. So we need to think about synchronous. Synchronous being at the same time. We need to think about asynchronous. Asynchronous being at different times. We can also think about environments being on campus, that is face-to-face. We also think about the online environment. You're not physically together in the same location, but you are online and everyone can be separate. So we've got these different dynamics, and this diagram represents them. I'll run through this diagram in terms of the colors. Green is our regular face-to-face class. That is on campus and synchronous. This follows our schedule. Now then, if we go in the top left-hand corner, the gray, that is online but also synchronous. There's going to be a schedule involved with this so that students know to jump on a Zoom or maybe a forum class and have time together. We say screen to screen. We're not face-to-face in the same location, but we are same time and screen to screen. The yellow is being online but asynchronous at different times. In the yellow, discussion forums or watching a video like this are ways that students can interact with other students, with the faculty member, with content at different times, but they're online. The orange is on-campus work, but it's flexible. So it might be teacher one-to-one consultations in which each student comes at different times to each other, but meets up with the teacher. Or group work may happen on campus asynchronously, being that the groups decide on a time to meet, but that is separate to other groups. The orange one, I think, happens less. The yellow, the grey, and the green are very common in our context. So let's think about online courses and purposely designing online environments. In an online course, there's a possibility that you may design online synchronous interaction, synchronous being at the same time on a platform like Zoom or Forum. However, there's probably a strong possibility there's also going to be online asynchronous interaction. That is interaction between student and us, the faculty members, other students, or even the content. And this is going to happen at different times, like a discussion forum. So within this, how will faculty and students establish, build, and maintain presence? So if we think about presence within this, we know that the online, if we purposefully design an online environment, it's going to encompass the grey and the yellow. So the grey might be easier to establish presence. We're going to have a Zoom, a forum. People can see each other's through their camera. They can talk with each other at the same time. They can hear tone of voices, see body language. That may be one way to establish, build and create, maintain presence. However, it's the yellow here that may be a little bit more difficult. Students are reading text in a discussion forum. Maybe they're seeing a video in which they see you talk about the content through a lecture. All these sorts of things are asynchronous and a part of an online asynchronous class. How do we establish, maintain, and build a presence within these sorts of things? Now let's turn our attention to blended. And if we purposely design towards a blended course and environment, then maybe there's going to be some face-to-face interaction. And this is likely going to be on campus. Otherwise, it would just be an online course. So there must be some on-campus involvement within a traditional blended course. However, there's going to be times in which the students will work asynchronously online. Okay, so there's a mix of both. So within a blended environment, how will faculty and students establish, build, and maintain presence? Let's think about this in relation to the diagram. The green is one area, that's on-campus classes. And this, in a face-to-face class, it may be easy to establish presence and build it and maintain it for both faculty and the students. Okay, maybe not. However, there will be some time in which, in a blended class, there is online time. And so that goes back to the previous slide as well, right? Okay, we might be in Zooms, in a forum class in which there is real-time interaction. However, asynchronous, there's a lot happening here, and it is a flexible approach to learning. You've got a lot of time to think about a discussion forum or a post to a Google Doc or something like that. But it happens at different times. And so how do we build, how do we establish, build, and maintain presence in this situation? It can be a little bit more difficult, and we need to think about that when we're designing presence within the course. Presence comes from the types and degrees of interaction and engagement. And by interaction, I mean student to student, student to instructor, or student to content. Think about the last one. Some content is flat, but some content is more dynamic, like multimedia and e-learning. By engagement, I'm referring to things like social, cognitive, emotional, collaborative, and behavioral engagement. It's the different ways that students engage that may be beneficial. With these different forms and types of interactions and engagements, students may feel like being present more. If a number of things are competing for their attention, they may be more inclined to do things that are engaging for them. We always want to make sure that their presence is felt and that engagement happens. Within a blended environment, face-to-face classes may be easier for everyone to interact and engage. However, with online environments, things may be more intentional. We need to build it in. Whilst this may be true, unless things are planned and designed in advance for both environments, students may not necessarily interact and engage as effectively as they need to do. Now, when thinking about presence, it isn't a linear line from day 1 to day 10 in which we gradually establish presence. Unfortunately, it's not magic, and there's not an equation in which the first 3 activities that include student-to-student interaction magically build a student presence. No. Likewise, after a point in time, say day 10, maybe a degree of presence is established, maybe. However, it isn't maintained just because it's there. Presence may naturally come and go as circumstances and situations change and develop. There may be periods of time in which we need to establish different types of presence. We need to build it over time and maintain it. This is important. Remember those 3 types of presence: social, teaching, and cognitive. Which ones will you build first? Which ones do you establish, then build and maintain? All at once, one at a time? Very open-ended question, and unfortunately there isn't a magic and secret formula that I can tell you, only that you will know for your course and your students. So now it's over to you. It's your turn to build some expertise in presence. You're going to dig deep into the research and take a look at one particular type of presence in your group, and going to complete learning activities 2.3 and 2.4 in relation to this. Then move on with learning activities 3.1 and 3.2 before finally the deliverable learning activity 4.1 needs to be done about presence. You're certainly going to develop that expertise. Thanks everyone.